Hello and welcome to Vegas Aces live stream. My name is Heather Ferris. I will be your host for today, and I am joined with
Jay Rodell.
Jay. Can you tell people a little bit more about yourself?
Wow, this is weird. Just because I'm the one being asked the questions, so this is new. My name is Jay Rodell, and I'm from Canada, and I've been in the casino industry for 22 years. And I
You
started as a
don't even
dealer.
look it.
What's that?
You don't even look it.
Oh yeah, no, I don't look 22. Yeah, no, I understand. So I started when I was 19. Technically a second generation casino dealer. My dad was a dealer. However, my brother was actually the one that was the first person to actually get into the industry. So then I followed suit 7 years later when I was old enough. So I was dealing. I dealt at the Palace Casino here in Edmonton, in Canada, and that was in the biggest mall. It was the biggest mall in the world at the time, but now it's the biggest mall in the Americas. So I was dealing there, and then I ended up going on the cruise ships. I was dealing on the ships for a while. Came back to a little town after my contract, and I introduced craps into the city, and I became a manager. And it was a 22-year-old manager, and I'll tell you, I sucked. Totally sucked. Not ready for that position. But I'll tell, like, I'd love to, tell everyone on the channel that it was just something that really helped me with my casino career down the road, because I never, if I didn't have that lesson, then I wouldn't have been able to kind of progress when I got back home to Edmonton. And I got to work for a few casinos, and I worked a lot of weird, well, I don't say weird, but a lot of different positions. I wasn't just in gaming. I was the food and beverage manager. I was a games manager, pit manager, whatever title you had, I had it. Boxman, training coordinator, and then human resources. Like me, human resources. Casino dealer, that's a human resources. So yeah, I ended up doing that, and I was managing, and it's been full circle. I work in the hospital now. That's my full-time job, but I still work
In
once
that
a month.
case, good luck.
Thank you so much. I'm not really. I'm not in the units anymore. I'm not wearing scrubs anymore. But I'm in the offices, so it's a little bit safer here in Edmonton.
That's
Yeah,
good.
that's basically it. Just a lot of hats, and if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have stayed in the industry so long. It's just so many. It was such an adventure. The people that you meet, it's crazy, crazy.
Yeah. So I bet working in an office is way more boring than working as a dealer or floor supervisor.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, when you're working in, it's funny because I was working both jobs, and I did after managing, I did leave for a while. I still was doing DJing and weird stuff like that for the casino, but then I ended up coming back as a dealer at another casino here just because I love it, right? So,
That's cool.
um, yeah, it's weird having those two jobs because you're in the hospital where it's just sanitize your hands, and then you go to the casino where it's okay. I know where those chips have been. So, it's cleanest to the dirtiest to the cleanest. So,
And the only time the chips are cleaned is when alcohol is speared into the rack. And then
yeah,
it's okay, we got to close the table. We have to actually, And I've done that a couple of times, and I would always start off with a white rag. And by the time I was done, that rag was pure black, pure black. This is disgusting.
That is so funny. Yeah, back then, before we had the Tito tickets, yeah, I'd be in the break room with a lot of the slot department, and their hands would be so black from the coin, and I'd see a couple of them just eating sandwiches like it was nothing. I'd be okay,
Oh,
that's awesome.
oh, no, no. That's the one thing about being a dealer. You wash your hands before the break, you wash your hands after break, particularly before the break. When you're coming off from the table, ew, wash your hands.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Some nasty stuff I used to see was I actually saw a couple Baccarat players pick their nose and then wipe the boogers on their cards. And speaking of which, I saw a cowboy eat a card. I think you saw someone eat a card too, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You want to tell us the story? We'll compare notes, see if it's the
For
same
sure.
person.
Oh my God, yeah, we have some. I just from talking with you before, I know we have a lot of similar stories just in our time in the industry. But yeah, I was the games manager at a casino, and I was the acting games manager, so I was on shift, and I got to. When you're a games manager, you get to like walk around, and you know you look important, and you get to talk to everybody, and it's so relaxing. And then something happens, then you got to deal with it. But at the casino I was working at, we actually got access to surveillance. So then I ended up, getting a call to surveillance. Like, okay, you got to see this. So I go up and I watch, and I'm like, oh my God, okay, there's a story behind this. Come back down, and this guy's just sitting at the table, and I know the hand. I still remember the hand because it's like player shows 6 and stands, bank shows 0 card, bank. He's betting bank. He gets a card, and it's handheld, not mini buck here. So the guy's peeling the card. And you can tell already that it is like a TV, a monkey. It's a face card, right? So he's peeling the card, and he's just looking at it. He's like, if I don't give you this card, you can't finish the hand, right? So the floor soup is like, what are you talking about? It's like, no, if I don't give you this card, you can't finish the hand, right? It's like, no, you have to give it the card. He's like, oh yeah? He folds up the card in like 4, puts it in his mouth, and he eats it. The floor soup. And watching this in replay, you can see the floor soup like this. It goes up, walks straight to the pit, gets on the phone, and then the call is like, yeah, hey, what's up? Yep, he did it again. He did it again. Yeah, yep, okay, all right. And that was it.
You know he must have been betting some big money if they were like, yep, okay, he's doing it again. Just give him another card.
Yeah. So just repeat offender, and it was just, it's, and then you walk to the table and he knows, right? Or she, sorry, confidentiality agreement. He or she knows, and stands up and just like that's a drill, right? So just walk straight out. That's like okay.
Wow, man.
There's a lot of people on. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, we got 12 people watching. Some people in the comments. Let's see. If you guys have any questions or anything, go ahead and put them in the comments. If you have any story suggestions or stories that you want to hear, feel free to put them in the comments. We had a player who ate the card as well, but it was during the National Finals Rodeo or National. I always get it mixed up. National Rodeos Final. Mm-hmm. It's the first 2 weeks of December. Super busy, and super drunk cowboys everywhere. One of the cowboys was on my table, and he was betting. I think I can't remember. It was like 5,000, 10,000. It was some large amount. I'm blanking on the number at the moment, but he ended up getting a 16. He hit the 16. He got the 10. He was pretty pissed. So he picked up the 10, crumpled it up, and ate it and asked for another card. And I'm like, Floor comes over. I'm like, we need another card. We need another 10 of whatever, 10 of hearts. And he's like, what do you mean we need another 10 of hearts? And I'm like, this guy just ate it. He's like, stop BSing me. We're freaking busy. I have shit to do. Don't come over here and start BSing me and pulling this crap on me. And I'm like, no, check the cameras if you don't believe me. He ate a card. I need a king of hearts. What do you want me to do? Like, what the hell? So he calls security, he calls the cameras, and he asked them to verify this, and they did. And he's like, yeah, he did eat the card. So he comes back and he's like, well, if he wants another card so badly, give him another card. Okay. So I hit him and I give him a 5 for 21, and we ended up paying the guy. And then I get tapped off. I'm going on break. I, stop by the podium, and I'm like, why the hell did you do that? And he's like, well, he's been here for 3 days. He's lost $30,000 each day. So for $90,000, I think we could give him another card. That's fair enough. Can't argue with that,
I'd probably be a smartass if I was there, and I'd just be like, sir, I'm not giving you another card until you give me that card back. kidding.
Even if we have to wait a couple days. Oh man. Yeah. And have you ever experienced that where someone did go number one or number two in your presence?
Well, yeah, well, no, I don't want to talk about these stories just because they're kind of gross. I don't know if it's ready for
They're
them.
so gross.
But yes, I've had some experiences. And not just as like a games manager, but as like a dealer, a floor supervisor. Yeah, there have been accidents on the table, and
Accidents or stuff on purpose? Because I've had stuff on purpose.
Well, there was both. We'll say both. Like the one that I'm thinking about was definitely on purpose, and I really felt bad for the maintenance crew that was cleaning that up off of the foyer. But I mean, when it gets to the point, and you watch the replay, like, you watch the replay of this guy, like, holding his pants, walking to the door, and, letting it out. It was, you laugh at it now, but, like, when you're there, it's like, oh, no, please.
That is so funny. Yeah, and when I've had it happen more than once, it was because they were winning and they didn't want to leave the table to go to the bathroom. So they just went right there while they were playing.
Yes, and I do recall that story when I was interviewing you and you were giving me that.
By the way, so if you guys don't know, I was a guest on Jay's show last night. Jay, when and where can people see that episode?
You can see that episode on my YouTube channel, which is called Casino Dealer Jay. And I interview people from the casino industry, so including Heather. And Heather, just before we continue, I just want to say I love your channel so much.
Thank you.
And, it really helped me when I was working, full-time in the industry. Heather by far, she's a gem. And I say watch all of her videos, and the content that she provides is amazing. It's been 10 years. Like, holy crap. The amount of work that you put in, Heather, I totally admire that, and it's just amazing. And by far, you're the best. So cool. So cool to be on your channel. Like, I'm so honored. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm honored to have you on the show, too. Thank you so much. Much appreciated.
Yeah. So my channel is Casino Dealer Jay, and that segment with Heather is called On Break With. And what I love about it is the fact that I can tap into a lot of the people in the industry and bridge the two generations together. Now, now that I'm back, and it's been not back because we're not really at work right now. We're not back to work yet because of the pandemic. But when I do go back to work, there's been such a huge gap from when I started as a dealer and I came back as a dealer that the people that I worked with 20 years ago aren't really there anymore. And it kind of sucked because, hey, John Holland, I see you on the chat there. The person like John Holland, who was an amazing dealer, a lot of people never got to meet him. So to have his stories and to have your stories, from when you were a dealer, it's really cool to share just because people, they get that, and it's like, oh, you know what, I can relate to that as a dealer. And it's like, if we're having stories like this and we talk about things that happened in our career, it's like, can you imagine the stories that people have right now? So.
Oh, well, first of all, dealers have the best stories. And I completely agree. When we have similar stories, it's nice to know that we're not the only ones that experience someone, say, taking a crap on our table. So that's really, it feels better. It's like, okay, I'm not the only one. It's cool.
Not just in the States. This is everywhere. All over.
Everywhere.
This is an international thing that happens. So.
Yeah. Now, have you ever had someone cheat on your table, or do you know someone who was a dealer or floor supervisor who cheated and said, let's say they got arrested or something?
Oh wow.
I could tell a story if it'll give you a little time to think about it.
No, I do have stories, and it's funny because I was just talking about this with a friend of mine last night, and It's just the fact that if I do say these stories, then a lot of people will know who these people are. So
Oh,
yeah,
don't do that.
it's yeah, it's tough. I don't want to really call people out, but yes, there have been instances where you know, we'd had like a floor supervisor, and you'd have people with like sleight of hand, or they'd be doing a lot of deck switching where it would benefit like a player would get like a royal flush on a progressive game, say like, you know, Ultimate Texas Hold'em or 3-card poker. The shuffle machine is broken. We're gonna have to hand shuffle. Yeah, deck switcheroo from the pit, and then all of a sudden there's a royal flush there. It gets reviewed on surveillance, and it's like, well, hold on a second. So yeah. So
Yeah.
I will tell you this though, from the yes, and I have had people arrested. Yeah, and obviously they're terminated and they don't get their license anymore. So then, yeah. But anyways, that beside the point there, it's actually incredible because a lot of those catches, like when people were like caught and whatnot, were from like dealers. Dealers would actually see, and they'd be the ones like, whoa, like something weird is going on here. Like this guy is he's checking my tray, and all of a sudden there's some money missing, you know, and it's like, what happened, right? So then like it would be the dealers that would be bringing up these red flags, and then surveillance would look into it, and then all this stuff would happen after. So,
That's good. It's good for a dealer to be aware of their surroundings and what's going on, for sure.
Yeah.
We had I don't mind calling people out. We had a floor supervisor who he ended up working with his roommate, and they made counterfeit money. And then he would be a boxman on craps, and the roommate would come to the craps table and use the counterfeit money. And he would, you know, really quick go over it, drop it in the drop box, hand out the money. The guy would play a couple hands and then go to the cage and then, you know, cash out. They made, I think, over like $500,000 or something doing this for like a year or something, or it was a long time before the casino finally caught on. They're like, why do we keep getting counterfeit money in this one drop box? Mm-hmm. So, you know, at this one shift in this one time. So then they put the camera on them and they saw what happened and what was going on. And so what happened was they didn't tell him that they knew. He came into work one day with a sitting box, and then that's when the cops and everyone came in and arrested him on the table in the middle of a game and escorted him out. And they wanted to do it that way to make sure that they knew where he would be and that he wouldn't run and that type of stuff. So,
yeah, I remember you had what was it, the other Jay Shapiro?
The other Jay.
Love that guy, amazing. Yeah, I'd love to meet him one day. But yeah, he was just talking. I remember him just talking about like old and new, and you know, not just with like dealing and souping and the industry itself, like customer service and like sweating the money and everything. But yeah, it was also like security as well. So like, you know, when you bring up that story and like they actually wait, like when I started, that's basically what they did with cheaters too. It was to the point where it's like, hey, look at this guy getting arrested. Yeah. Maybe you should, like, you know, not do what he's doing, because that's what's going to happen to you if you even think about it. So
yeah,
nowadays it's not. It's like you get pulled back, and it's like, you know, it's like human resources thing. It's like, you know, you get to this talk and it's like, do you need a lawyer or anything? And no, okay, we will discuss this. For now, you've been terminated, whatever it is, wherever you're from. But yeah, it happens in that sense. So
another way is the person runs out. We had that happen where the dealer ran out. Yeah. He was stealing from the dealers. He was on the tow committee, and it was before the cameras were in the tow committee room. So what he would do was whenever there was a black chip, he would pocket it, you know, and he did that for 20 years. So he ended up stealing a couple $1 million from the dealers over that period of time. And they finally caught him after putting the camera in the room, but anyway, 90s, 2000s. So they caught him, and he ran out of the casino, and he passed by my table and he threw something in the trash. And when security ran by, I told him, you know, he threw something in the trash, and they found all of these black chips that he had in his pocket. And what happened was they didn't arrest him, and they didn't press charges. And the reason why is because he stole from 300 dealers, and they needed 300 dealers to press charges in order to do it. He didn't steal from the casino.
Mhm.
So he basically got away with it. And the only thing they did to him was they blacklisted him. You know, so he's like on the blacklist. He can't come in, and he can't work in any casino. He can't come in any casino. He can't play in any casino. You know, he's just blacklisted from the proper, like all properties in Las Vegas, period. And he, of course, has like a permanent stain on his record. But that was, yeah.
Yeah, we have a similar protocol whenever something like that would occur. Yeah, so they do lose their license. They are blacklisted, and they're never able to come back. So
Yeah.
you have to be bondable and, you know, good with money. And yeah, like we have our security clearance, and our licenses here is good for 2 years. So, you know, you constantly have to kind of keep that up. And
Yeah.
if it's something like that occurs, then you're never gonna make it back.
Yeah.
So I am sorry, I'm not taking over this interview here, Heather, but I just noticed that your hair looks lovely.
Oh, thank
Not
you.
a non-Star Wars type.
Yes, finally.
Yeah. This is
Finally.
not Leia, guys. Come on.
I have been trying all of my life. I'm 38 years old. I've been trying since I was 16 to do a Sailor Moon hair bun. And I finally got it today. I even got the little things down here, and I got the gems inside. So I'm super, super, super stoked I got the Sailor Moon hair today. Thank you very much for that.
Well, no, I was gonna have the same hairstyle too, but you know, once I saw you, I just ran to the back and I just changed it up. So.
Oh, I know you have a Sailor Moon wig in there somewhere. We could put that on real quick. Now, when you were a dealer, did you ever see anyone in costume or any crazy outfits or any anything like that? Any wardrobe malfunctions?
Oh boy. Well, yeah, obviously, like being in the mall, and a super busy mall with Halloween happening, a lot of the people you would see a lot of costumes that you would not normally see for trick-or-treaters. You know, adults wearing a lot of the kids' clothing, you know, probably the same size too. So yeah, it was crazy to be there during Halloween in one of the busiest malls in the world. So yeah, I've seen that. I don't know if you're trying to pull out the stripper story as well, but
yeah. I mean, if you want to talk about it, it's up to you.
Oh, okay. I guess so. Let's talk about this. When I was a floor supervisor at the casino, there was one day and one shift that we would all fight over. I'm a guy. I'll say this first. I'm married now, by the way. Anyways, before, when I was young and, you know, like this kid, immature, we would fight for the Sunday, and I even know the letter too. It's called the F shift. And the F shift was roulette. And the reason why we would fight over this shift was because on Sunday nights, the strip club that was just up the road, a little bit north, on the way to the mall, was closed early. So then the owner of that strip club would actually bring the ladies over to play roulette. So when you talk about Halloween costumes, yeah, that's every Sunday. So then we would all fight, and none of us would EO on that Sunday shift. It's like even the roulette relief floor suit would be so happy. And yeah, that was just. I know that this story has come up where you would have floor supervisors just hanging at the table. Well, we only had those 2 tables, so unfortunately we had to stay at those tables the whole shift. So.
Aw. That must have been so disappointing.
Oh my god! Just like just like when I was DJing a burlesque show, and this was good money. I was on contract, and it was at the casino stage, and I would just be on the side, and I'd be playing the music for the burlesque dancers. So shout out to Sarah if you're watching this. But yeah, the pinner-uppers were amazing, and I would just complain to Sarah all the time. She'd be sitting beside me like, oh my god, this is such a rough job for me. Like, I have to watch these ladies and make sure that they finish their routine, and then I'm gonna have to shut off the music and switch it up. So I can't believe it. Like, oh my god, this is insane. Let's leave it at that.
Okay. Now, I told a similar story, I think, on your episode, maybe, possibly, I can't remember. We've talked so much, it's sort of blurred together now. I don't remember what was live stream and what wasn't. But similar thing. This was at the Rio, and the Palms used to have a sleepover party. And the sleepover party, all the women would show up in their lingerie, and then afterwards they would go and disperse. So you would have groups of women wearing lingerie walking around the casino. So I'm dealing on my blackjack game, and my floor supervisor's like, hey, if one of those like groups of girls walks by, I want you to call over Floor. I'm like, okay, I got you. We're cool. He's like, okay, awesome. So every single time, like one of the groups would walk by, I'm like, Floor. It's like, yes, I see. And we would just sit there and we'd look and, okay, we're done. Cool, thanks. Go back dealing. And I think I had like one or two guys on my table, and they didn't get it until like the second time. And then they looked over their shoulder and like, okay, we could do this too. We're cool with this. Like, no complaints at all.
That's funny. Yeah, so the casino that I'm kind of working at right now, there is a code that's called shuffle check. So whenever someone so we're on a dice table, and then you can hear like one of shuffle check. And that would be those guys' codes, by the way, not my code. I just know about it. It's their code.
You know it's a code when everybody's head turns the same way. You're like, oh, that's a code.
So one of the pit managers found out about the code. Well, they all know about it, but they found out about the code, and then it was just like this old granny passing by, shovel check. Oh boy.
Now, do they for Halloween ever allow you guys to wear costumes while you deal?
No, the only time that we actually got to change our outfits was for hockey playoffs.
And then you got to wear a jersey.
Yeah, and that doesn't happen too often here because our team isn't they hardly make the playoffs. So, yeah, I'm going to hear a lot of that. Sorry. But yeah, no, whenever we did have party pits and whatnot. So then we would have like, jerseys and things for everyone to kind of wear for that. And we also did paradise pits, but again, those are more like the party pits that you see there, and all over there in Vegas. I love Vegas, by the way.
When was the last time you visited?
I think it's been a few years, maybe like 3 years. It was like my first time in Vegas was not good because I went as like. Well, I went as a 21-year-old, and so
that was probably the best thing though that could have happened. The worst thing is when you come to Las Vegas and you win a ton of money, because then you think you could do that every time.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, that's true. My god, I have so many stories about just my first time there. But anyways, I'll give you one. Is my first time being there, 21. We're kids, so I'm there with a couple people, my friend Mike and my friend Marvin. We're all dealers too, and like we just learned craps, and we're like, we're there in Vegas for the first time. So oh my god, we didn't have any money, so then we ended up staying at the Imperial Palace that was there at the time. The Aladdin was still up, and
wow.
Yeah, we go down. We go down, and we're on the dice table. It's a $3 table, and I'm like, I'm a dealer too. Oh my god, this is great. Really, guys they're looking at me. It's like, oh my god, this punk, unbelievable, right? It's 6 o'clock. I don't want to deal with you. So it's like I lost my money. I think I had $1 or $2 left, and I was gonna tip them, but the guy's like, well, you know what? You can play that for yourself. And I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do? He's like, well, just put it on the line. I'm like, okay, put it on the line. And he's like, back for the dealers. And then the dice roll, and it's like a 7. He takes it, and he puts it away. He like taps, and he just looks at me until I leave. And I was just like, I'm one of you guys. Why are you doing this? And I'm like walking back, and it's like, let's go. My friends are laughing their asses off at me. It's just like, oh, that guy just put you in a school. And I'm like, yeah, like, go for it. I was so gullible, right? It's like, oh, I'm a dealer too. That's great. He's like, yeah, everyone's a dealer. Right? It's like, oh, my God.
That's awesome.
Do you want to go through some comments, or
we have
some fans that want to talk to you, Heather?
We have some people in the comments. Yes, a lot of people who are saying hi and telling their stories, which is awesome.
Oh, sweet.
We have 1 or 2 questions. How is business in Vegas? Is it coming back? We'll see. It's technically coming back, but they might close it because our numbers are going up. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Next one is any stories of dealers working with players and cheating together? Jay?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of collusion. It's a lot easier when it is a combo like that. Yeah, I've seen dealers and players work together to do a bad beat in poker. So at the time, our cap for bad beats was at $10,000, and like in a nutshell, it would just be a deck swap under the table, and then the bad beat would be dealt. So something like that. And there's a lot of straightforward ones where they think the camera is watching, but they're not. So you know, we've gone through a lot of those situations where it is a player that's in on it. One of the easiest ones I don't want to say the easiest cheat that you can do is just collusion on a dice table, where if the dealer knows the player, it's just like, that was a call bet, I booked it. And you know, it depends on if you have a strong box or not. If the box is a relief box that doesn't know craps and they're just going through the rotation, sometimes they don't understand, right? So then you could be like, yeah, that was a bet. That was a hard 10 hopping for max or something. And then that person would get paid out. And yeah, we would run into situations like that. There's a lot of like situations where, you know, you could see that happen between a dealer and a player. Not just that, it's supervisor as well too. The floor soup has a lot of mobility, right? You're able to kind of walk around, and you can manipulate a lot of things.
Well, the casino has to worry about their workers, their staff, more than they have to worry about their players as far as cheating goes.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, no, like I said before, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised now, but I was surprised that it was like a lot of the dealers and the staff that did the tip off. It's like, wow, like I just saw this guy do this. So, you know, in poker, it's like there was a houseman that caught one of the dealers just taking tips. So. Yeah, it's weird. Our industry here is a little different than you know, everywhere else. A lot of the industries, like the casino industry in Canada, is a lot of charitable gaming. So a lot of like half of the money or a percentage of the money for table games, it's usually half that goes to licensed charities. So,
oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so that's why we don't see like the Golden Lions in the really big buildings here, just because it's more of a half thing. So cool. There's a lot of government regulation here. We have our commission as well.
Speaking of government, we have one viewer here right now who thinks you should run for mayor. What do you think about that?
Oh, wow. Hi, Wayne. Yeah, Wayne. He's also in the industry, so hey, nice to see. Well, I don't know, not anymore. We just had a chat, but.
Now, have you ever seen a celebrity or a famous person in your casino? Do you have any stories on that?
Well, yeah, I mean, in the mall, I've met the Black Eyed Peas, so that was really cool. They weren't really playing though; they were just in, you know, they were in the mall. They wanted to do like a really cool interview, and they used our casino, so I actually had some interviews there. So
that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, again, I mean, like I lived a tough life in my career, so you know, I got asked to DJ. You know, when the Playboy machines came in, they needed a DJ. Nice. So I said, fine, I will hang out with these Playboy playmates that are promoting yourself. And I will sit
Tough,
there.
man.
Yeah, I'll sit with them and I will play the music that they want. And yeah, so
Oh,
I,
so tough.
I got autographs. And yeah, other than, I mean, we're like, we have an NHL team. So there's a lot of hockey players that come in and they play. And there's some really, really nice ones for the most part. For the most part, some really nice ones that play.
Cool. So next up, let's see if we have any more comments here real quick. A lot of people are commenting on washing your hands. We have a lot of comments on that. Some people said that they worked with food or ice cream or something, and then they would handle their cash and they would never wash their hands. Other people are saying that they would handle cash all day and their hands would be pure black. So yeah, money is so dirty.
Oh no, that's yeah, and even if you're working in like a casino that doesn't really maintain their tables too well, like you would come home like, and this is for new dealers, like try to keep your nails like short because there would be like a lot of dirt built up here and it would be black and really really gross.
Especially if you're on craps or roulette. That would happen
Yeah,
more on craps and
yeah.
roulette.
Oh my God, yeah, roulette. It's
Yeah.
funny. Shout out to my friend Jim who showed me this lazy way of actually pushing chips because because I have arthritis, almost have arthritis. I'm having because I'm old now, right? So, but my hands were like really tough. And for you dealers there that know, like your 100, 120, 140 push up to 200. Sometimes your hands are really cramped after like a long shift. And my friend Jim, who I was chipping for, he'd be like, check this out. He had his hand flat on the table and he'd be pushing like 120 flat. And I'd be like, wow, that is incredible. He's like, yes, I call this a lazy push, but that's not why it's called a lazy push. It's a lazy push. It's just you need to like keep your hands lazy and just keep them relaxed. You got to take care of yourself, right? So funny. That guy was hilarious, but yeah, so then I started doing that for a little while, and then I had to stop after one shift because like at the end of my shift, my hand was so black from like all of like everything I picked up from that belt. It was just like, oh, I couldn't
Oh
get
my
it
god.
out.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's a really, really good point. Definitely keep your nail short. That's a very good point. I actually knew a couple. I can't say dealers. I have to say floor supervisors. One or two floor supervisors, they were women, and they did the that nails where their nails come out and they like curl under. And she was I am so surprised. She could cut chips. She could shuffle. I mean, she was a floor supervisor, but if I had to tap out, she could go in there and deal my game, no problem. And she had the nail, and I'm like, how are you doing that? It's like practice, lots of practice.
Yeah, no, I did deal with someone that had long nails, and that person was amazing at like picking chips. It'd be like 7 same bet, and these nails would be out here, right? 7 same bet, 14 same bet. Like, oh
Yep,
my God, like wow, look at you.
it's incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
So one question we have from a viewer: do you have any stories of a celebrity who threw a patty? So I'm assuming that's through a fit because they lost.
Well, it's mostly hockey players that I got to meet and deal with. But yes, there was one instance where we did have a hockey player, not very friendly, not very nice. Ended up dating like half of the food and beverage staff. But anyways, this person like came in, had a hissy fit, and then we had to basically ask this player leave. And he wasn't a first line center or anything like that. So, but I mean, you run into situations where it's like, yeah, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? And a lot of the time, it's just the liquor involved because if it's like in the afternoon and you meet somebody famous, it's not that bad. So yes. Oh yeah, there's the one situation where I think I had a dealer that was hyper or hypoglycemic. One
Ooh.
of the two passed out, and yeah, I mean like this person was pretty rude, celebrity too, and it's just like, yeah, just deal the cards, get me a replacement, deal the cards. I was just like, no, that's not gonna happen. So
They tend to be a little entitled.
No, I mean, and for the most part, like, you know, there's a lot of people that are really humble. Like, you know, you meet a lot of people, and you know, like, and it's funny because, like, for me, like, I'm a hockey fan, and I think the question someone asked, what team? Edmonton Oilers. Don't laugh.
Which team?
Edmonton Oilers. Don't laugh.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, someone. What were we talking about? We were talking about. Oh yeah, they were humble. But yeah, I mean, like you know how much they make a year, right? So it's just like, oh wow. But there was a lot of really down to earth athletes that we got to meet. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
So one question we have from viewers is, what is the usual policy for pregnant dealers? Here in Las Vegas, it's just like any other work. They're pregnant and they still work until a month or something beforehand, and then they take some time off and then they come back, and it's normal. If they have to sit down, we have some sit down tables. Other than that, you know, it's just normal. How about you?
Yeah, it's pretty similar here, where it's about a month. You try to give a date where you're, you know, this is my expected date of delivery. I'm going to go on mat leave. It's just a lot of communication with the games manager here. And then they would either take 12. It depends if both, like if there's like a couple together, sometimes they go 6 months, but it's usually 12 to 18 months.
Yeah.
Normally 12 months. So you take 12 months of mat leave, and then you know,
wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, I say I'm coming back on this day. So
that's Canada for you.
Yeah, 12 months. Yeah, it's like, yeah, take your time. Don't worry about it.
Here in America, it's like maybe a month, 3 weeks. You better be able to get them out and like come back soon.
Yeah.
Come on.
But yeah, I mean, I don't want to say modified duties, but you know, I'm not gonna. When I was a PIM manager, I'm not gonna schedule you on like, hey, you're gonna be on dice. Like I'm gonna put you on. Yeah, you're on base. It's busy now. We got like 9 players on this side.
The woman's like 9 months pregnant.
Don't you dare tell that player to push their bets in. Honestly, you reach out and you pay that. Go sideways.
Oh my God, yeah. So our next question is, if and when pot becomes legal, do you think casinos and pit bosses will allow people to toke at the tables like cigarettes?
If pot becomes federally legal, I'm wondering where you are. It is kind of legal here, so.
But they can't smoke it at the table, right?
No, and that's the thing. Like our casinos are non-smoking here. So,
oh, you can't smoke anything at the table.
So there's actually like designated areas outside where you go and smoke. It was smoking like when I started, but then it was it was a government rule that it would be non-smoking.
Okay, and yeah, here they definitely smoke, and it's legal, but you can't smoke it in the casino. The casino would lose their Nevada gaming license in a heartbeat, so you just cannot do that. Period.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. So I don't know if it's going to change anytime soon, but yeah, they won't allow it.
Yeah. So. It doesn't apply for us. Like you'd have to go outside if you're having that. And e-cigarettes too.
So what is the worst uniform you've ever had to wear at work?
Oh, John.
That's a good question.
Well, it's because we wore the same uniform at some point.
So he had to wear the same bad uniform?
Yeah, well, so for those of you that don't know John Holland, which you can watch it ended up being a 3-part interview, by the way, but you can watch John Holland on the Casino Dealer J channel. Funniest guy that I know, amazing craps dealer. I say just bombard him with craps questions if you want to be an amazing dealer too. Anyways, with John, he worked for RCCL, I think, Royal Caribbean. I was also hired with Royal Caribbean Celebrity. So when I worked for that company, we had these, you had your day uniform and your evening uniform. And our day uniform was exactly the same as the A&W uniform. It had stripes, and it was like brown, blue, yellow stripes all the way down. And this nice button-up shirt, and you had your name tag, and it was just, yeah. People are like, can I supersize that? Yeah. Anyways.
Nice. Yeah, we had one outfit where they gave us shirts, but they were like everyone else is fine. I would swim in the shirt. Okay. Like that's how big the shirt was. And they would give us 3 colors and we could wear whatever color we wanted, yellow, red, or I think it was green or blue. I can't remember. But it was one of those things where you could take it home, but if you lost it, you had to pay for it and everything.
Oh yeah.
Another time they wanted me to wear a bathing suit, and those bathing suits hurt. Oh my God, dude. Tight. Like I need to breathe. Okay. Come on.
Was it 2-piece? Because I don't look good in a 2-piece, so it would have to be
Oh, we could totally get you in a 2-piece.
yeah.
I could see you in a 2-piece. We could do it. We could have you at that pool dealing in a heartbeat.
Yeah, no, my gut would definitely be sitting over that blackjack table when I'm doing
You would get so many tips.
Oh yeah. Tips on like how not to wear that anymore.
Not to wear that.
People would come to the table, it's like, oh my God, I need band-aids for my eyes. Can't believe I saw that. Dad bod. That's dad bod life, guys. I think a lot of you know that. So.
Well, the thing is you go to Las Vegas, you go to the pools, and you think that the Las Vegas pool is going to look like the ads you see, you know, where it's all young, good-looking people, and they all have hot bods, and you want to be around all. No, you go to a Las Vegas pool, and it's like freaking 90-year-old guys and Speedos and grannies that are wearing, you know, bikinis when they shouldn't be wearing bikinis, and like, let me go somewhere else.
Some people like that, you know. That's their scene. So, to each their own. Huh?
True. Okay, so our next question is, what is the funniest reason you've had to back someone off?
Back someone off as in cut them off, or?
Back them off, kick them off the table, 86 them.
Oh.
Give them a warning.
It was an old Asian lady. I had to take her off of the table because her pants were falling off down to the side. So she was showing everything, and this was downtown. And oh my God, Fridays are insane. I'll have another story for that. But anyways, we pull her off, and she doesn't know English, so. And I'm Filipino, so I'm, you know, she thinks that I'm like Chinese, so she's talking to me in Cantonese, and I'm like, I don't, like, no, I need you to pull your pants up, right? Your pants. This is like a day shift too, right? So I mean, it wasn't.
It's not even swing.
No, yeah, and so she's like, she was getting so mad, and then she like punched me like hard, like, and it was like right here in like the boob, like not even like in the arm or the face, it was like in the boob. I'm like, ow. Why are you doing that?
She punched you?
Yeah, she hit me. And then I'm like looking at her like, what are you guys going to do? And like the security guards are like, nothing, right? So they're like laughing at me, and they're like, oh, okay. So then anyways, like her son or whatever, like, you know, escort came in and just said, okay, let's go, let's get out of here. This is what they're trying to say, right? But yeah, God. She was mad, and then she just left. But yeah, great story.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that wasn't even a difficult one too, so.
Now, is that the only time you've had someone hit you or physically assault you? Or
yeah, yes. Well, no, there's some situations where I've been pushed as a manager.
Your boob gets assaulted.
Yeah, like my side boob gets assaulted every now and then. But a lot of the time I've, like, you know, especially downtown, there was a really good group of guys that worked there. And back then when this casino existed downtown, it was like the inner city. So there was right behind like the parking lot across from it, there was actually, there was a center for the homeless. And then there was some other centers for the homeless just past that. And then there was just like assisted living. And then it wasn't the best neighborhood to be around. So, you know, like we'd come in the morning, and, you know, other than the rich people, not rich people, but other than the people that had jobs downtown that would like park in our parking lot because it was free, they'd cut in through the casino and go out the door and go to work because they didn't want to pay for their own parking. other than that, we had a lot of like transients, like a lot of the the homeless people that were around there. So with that, it's like you come in the morning and you just be like, stepping over these people, and yeah, it was pretty crazy. Some of them would actually have player cards too, so I'd be like, what? Because we'd have our draws too, right? So then like these guys would have cards, and they'd come in. I'm like, sorry, like no, you can't have a player's card right now. I'm not sure where did you even get that address. So, but anyways, yeah, I mean, like going back to the question about if I did ever like get pushed or whatnot, not so much there. I mean, but there's a lot of like verbal altercations where like I'll give you one quick story. There was a guy here and he was just swearing his butt off, and he was on Baccarat. It was mini Baccarat, so it was just on the main floor, and everyone was having a problem with him. And me, I was a relief games manager. At the time, I had a training position, but I wasn't doing any training. They helped me out by giving me these shifts, and they're usually like on a weekend or whatnot. I come in and I'm on shift, and I'm the games manager, and this guy is just like he's swearing off. Floor sleep's having a hard time. Goes to the pit manager. The pit manager is having a hard time. They call me. I come down, and I'm trying to like talk to this guy, and he's just like, "Who the f are you?" And I'm like, "Well, hi, I'm Jay. You know what? I'm just want to make sure that you're all right, right?" And this guy's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Like, what are you gonna do? You trying to kick me out or something?" I'm like, "No, but do you want to like keep the volume down and everything?" And then like when you're dealing with somebody like that, you just have to keep like a level head, and you don't take anything personally. Like you don't want to get threatened, because this guy was like jacked up. Like he was, I don't know why he was in, but he was like a really muscular guy, right? So this guy could like, I know he'd kick my ass. So just being real, it's like you're trying to say don't be a dick as nicely as you can. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, for sure, right?" And I kind of get that sarcasm. I step back, and then like it's about like 5 minutes, he just lets off this f bomb, and he knows, right? So then my team of security guards are so cool, right? And they come up, and they're they talk to him, like, "No, sir, it's time for you to go." And he gets escorted to the front, and he's like, "F all you effers, get the hell out of here." He goes in the foyer, and it's double glass doors, and he just smashes like the outside one, and I swear it's like Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's like whoosh, like this glass just shatters, and he bolts. And the person that worked there, his name was Wes. Amazing. He was the security supervisor. This guy is like super like fit at the time. He goes and he chases him. This guy's bolting across the parking lot, and I swear it was like this guy was a cyborg. And for someone like Wes to not be able to catch him, he was just incredible. This guy jumped the fence in like one bound, and he was gone. And I'm like, I've never seen anybody run that fast, but it was, oh my god, it was scary to talk to someone like that. But like you have to stay level headed. You get a lot of like people yelling and threatening you and things like that. But I learned down the road, when you're dealing with a difficult person like that, don't pull yourself into that situation. I like the easiest comment is like, "Sir, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you feel that way." It's fairly neutral. You can try to diffuse the situation as best as you can. A lot of the time, it's someone that has a lot of liquor, so they're sometimes it's like out of reason, and you're not able to kind of calm that person down. So a lot of what I say is like, "I'll talk to you tomorrow in the morning. Come back in the morning and we'll talk. Come back in the morning and we'll talk." And yeah, a lot of the time that happens.
Time
one
will
situation,
help.
Yeah.
Well, we have about 7 more minutes. Is there any story that you really want to tell that you're looking forward to telling before we end this?
Sorry, I'm just reading Joey's comment there. Heather, your hair is epic. It really suits you.
Thank you.
OMG.
I like the next one.
Joey, I like that. Nice cut, buddy. You know what? I did that so I could walk faster than the other supervisors and managers when I was working.
So you wouldn't have the resistance?
Yeah, increases your efficiency, right? You don't want hair, taking you back all the time. Yeah, save on shampoo too.
So my question, if you don't have a story, I have a question. What is the most games you've ever watched? Have you ever watched like 10 games? Crazy. Like,
legally, yeah. I mean, like you're not supposed to,
oh,
but
legally you're not supposed to?
no, we used to be six. Six
Okay.
was like the average, right? Roulette was three, baccarat was six, but then it became like depends on like what our high limit tables are, right? So like if they were low limit, then you can go up to six. It changed not that long ago where you could watch 8 blackjack tables, and that would be the max. But there's situations where a smaller casino would combine their pits into a super pit,
Mhm.
and there would be situations where uh, you're not supposed to have like one supervisor on there. So yeah, I mean our rules are a little different, but yeah, for me, I mean, let's say as a floor soup, the most that I watched was legally was 8, but then illegally, yeah, probably 10
Yeah.
and more. I'm not gonna get anybody in trouble here, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're not. The thing with it is that it's so difficult to be a floor supervisor when you're put in that situation, because it's not just that you have to deal with. You have to deal with the player tracking as well, right? So you have a lot on your plate, and you're doing your fills, you're opening tables. You have to deal with your dealers, making sure that they're kind of like where they're supposed to be. If someone is like late or someone's missing, it's really hard to kind of balance all of that, and that's why I think that's where you learn the most for sure. And then the biggest thing about being a floor supervisor is that you have to deal with the situations that are going to come up, because 100%, if there's a difficult situation, whether it's a gaming issue or like a gaming dispute, or if there's something where a player is becoming aggressive, guess what, you're the person that has to go there, right? So I don't know, how much time do you have, Heather?
We have 4 more minutes, 3
Okay.
more minutes.
So I'll give you. I love my time as a floor supervisor. Honestly, like that's kind of, it was like the stepping stone to like management. And a couple things about that is like like there you get put into some really crazy situations, right? So here's one story. I was a floor supervisor and the player had to be cut off, and I was like, oh, I'm really uncomfortable at this. What am I supposed to do? I'm like all worried and everything. And you know you learn so much, because like the pin manager I had at the time, oh my god, he comes up to me, he's just like, see that guy over there? Yeah, you go cut him off. I'm like, okay. This is gonna be the first time I'm really doing this. Like, what do I say? He's like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. Just say, hey, sir, you just want to let you know that this is gonna be the last alcoholic beverage that we can serve you tonight. If you want like pop or coffee, then blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, sounds good, and I'm all nervous, and I don't go to the table. I'm like, hey, sir, I just want to let you know. I'm like, and he's like, what? And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm freezing. I need some help. I turn around and I look. There's nobody there. My pin manager is gone, and I'm like, where did he go? I see him in the corner where the slot machines are, and he's hiding behind there, and he's just freaking out. And I was just like, are you serious right now? And so, I mean, like, I ended up going, it's like, and I had to do it. And it was just like, oh my God. Every time you do it, your adrenaline is like up here.
Yeah.
Once you kind of get used to it, you calm down, and eventually it's not like, you become more natural at it, right? Where it's like you're talking to someone, it's like, dude, man, you got to take it easy here. You have to, kind of be relatable, where it's like, you got to take it easy. Talk to me in the morning. If he's a regular, be like, yo, man, I think you've had a little too much today. Come back and see me in the morning, right? So, and that usually diffuses a lot of the situations, but huge learning thing there. So
Yeah.
I'll give you one more story, the floor supervisor story. And I didn't tell you this yesterday or the last time that we interviewed, but it was the first time that I got on the phone, because we had our blackjack tables, and we didn't have lucky there. We had lucky sevens. So then, like, when someone would get their 3 sevens, it would be like $500, right? And it was such a big thing there that we'd get on the phone, and then you'd be like, hey, the Palace Casino would like to, and then there was a script, so we would read this script and be like, okay. So then this is the first time that someone gets sevens on my pit, and I'm like, oh no, I have to go on the phone. They're like, don't worry, the script is there, right? So I'm like, okay. It was a busy pit. We had like, I think we had 6 blackjack tables and 2 roulette tables, it was like busy, full of people. The mall was busy that day. So then I get on the phone and I press the button. I'm like, okay, like start. Okay, the Palace Casino would like to congratulate another Lucky Sevens winner. Payout of $500. Congratulations, everyone, and good luck from the staff of the Palace Casino. And my voice cracked so hard. And this was on the intercom in the whole casino. I know, it's just like, oh, I like hang up the phone and I turn around and the whole pit is looking at me laughing. And I'm just like, oh no. It was the most embarrassing time that I had as a floor supervisor. I will never let that down. My voice cracked and it was just so bad.
I think that's awesome. I think that is so awesome. And I can relate to you. I have a story real quick. I think I might have told this to you. If I didn't, I didn't. If I did, I did. I'm sorry. Anyway, so 6th grade. Okay, we're really going back. This is how much this reminded me of this. 6th grade, and we're doing a test, and everybody is quiet. Everybody has their head down. Everybody's doing the test. Everything is pure silence. And of course, my nose is running because my nose is always running. So I have to blow my nose. So I get up, I get the tissue, I walk out of the classroom, close the door, and I blow my nose. And my nose is a horn. Okay, like it's loud and it is jarring and it is surprising and it is like it's a freaking horn. So I blow my horn and I look back into the class, and every single student in that classroom had stopped doing the test and had turned around and was looking at me through the window. And I'm like, oh shit. 6th grade, you don't want to be embarrassed like that in 6th grade. So I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah. I wish I was in 6th grade. I'm like this 20-year-old man. Look at this guy old enough to be in here, honestly.
Well, I mean, look at it this way. It could be worse. You could be 50 years old. You could be my old casino manager. My old casino manager in his 50s. I'm on Let It Ride, and he comes down and he looks at me and he's like, what are those for? And he's talking about the on-off flammers. And he's like, why do you have those on the game? And I'm like, are you serious? You want me to explain to you why I have this on the game? Okay. It's Let It Ride. If the light doesn't work, you need the on-off flammer to show the camera that the lights. You're the freaking casino manager. You don't know why the lammer's on the game? Like, what?
Oh boy. Yeah, no comment on that.
Well, thank you for listening to me rant. And with that note, I think we're going to end this. Jay, thank you so much for being on. Thank you so much for sharing your stories. Again, will you let people know how they can find you?
Yeah, first off, thanks for having me, Heather. It was an honor, honestly. I just from watching your videos from from when I was actually when I was managing to now, it's incredible to be on. So you can find me on social media at Casino Dealer J. That's Twitter or Instagram, but you can find me on the YouTube channel. So if you have any questions, or if you want to if you want to share your stories, if you're in the industry, if you want to listen to some other people's stories, then join the channel, including Heather's. So it's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
If you guys are watching, please check out our next live stream on Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Again, check out the website, vegas-aces.com, where we're going to try to put all of this stuff up on the articles page. And thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you have a good one. Take care, everyone.
Make sure to hit that like button.
It's so cool. Wait a minute. Make sure to like.
Make sure to hit Heather's like button. I
And
mean,
hit
on our
that
channel.
notification bell so that way you're always notified of our latest videos and live streams. Bye, guys.